Today we're going to be ranking most of the major objects in the solar system. So I put together a pretty good list here of major objects in the solar system, including all of the planets. We got some dwarf planets in here like Pluto and Haumea, and then also most of the major moons too. Like we got the moon and Phobos and Deimos. We got Charon, which is Pluto's moon. So it should be pretty good. All right, we're gonna start with the sun. The sun is our star, and it is what makes life possible on Earth. So it is very important. It is a yellow dwarf star. So it is pretty big, but it's like average compared to the rest of the stars. There are some stars that are way bigger. It's about 4.4 million kilometers in circumference. So it is very, very big. And because of the way it provides life for us on Earth, we're giving it S tier. All right, we're just gonna go in order with the planets, I think. So the first planet is Mercury. Mercury is actually the smallest planet. There are some moons in the solar system that are bigger, so it's not that impressive there. It is also the first planet in the solar system, and it also goes the fastest of all of them. So it's like small but fast. Not that interesting. Like the surface of it, not that interesting. I mean, if you get it like where they change the colors on it, you can get some cool stuff, but it's like a pretty average planet. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Okay, Venus. Venus is actually the hottest planet, even though it's not the closest, because it has a super thick atmosphere that traps a lot of heat. This picture here is not with its atmosphere. This is what it looks like with its atmosphere. So it doesn't look that great, but it is pretty hot, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And it's very similar in size to Earth. It's like Earth's sister planet. So because of that, we're gonna put it in B tier. Another thing about Venus is it spins counterclockwise, which is the opposite direction of most of the planets. Okay, Earth. We all live on Earth. You're watching this from Earth, so we already know that Earth's gonna be pretty good. Earth is the only planet known to have life ever. I mean, we haven't discovered alien life. And so just for that reason, it deserves S tier. Mars. So Mars is the second smallest planet, so it's not very big. It is red though, which is cool because there's a lot of iron, so it's like rust. That's what makes it red. And it is a likely planet that humans could colonize, so that makes it a pretty good contender. So we're gonna put Mars in A tier. All right, now we're into the gas giants. Jupiter is our first gas giant, and I just love the way Jupiter looks. Like if you take a look at these like really close shots, the bands and the storms on it just look amazing. Great red spot also is just really, really cool. It does have small rings, not like Saturn. Saturn's rings are amazing. So we're gonna put Jupiter in A tier next to Mars. Now Saturn, I absolutely love Saturn's rings. They're so cool. No other planet in our system has rings like Saturn. So it's just really, really cool to see that. And it's home of some cool moons like Titan, but it's not that remarkable looking. If you took away the rings, it would not be good at all. So I'm only gonna put it in B tier. All right, time for Uranus. So Uranus has an unfortunate name. Also, just look at it. It's not that interesting at all. It's an ice giant, so it has a lot of water vapor that's like frozen on it. It's like frozen ice. And it spins on its side, which is kind of cool. So that's gonna save it from F, but we're gonna give Uranus a D tier. Neptune. Neptune is the last planet that is a real planet. Sorry, Pluto. But Neptune is another ice giant, and it is a beautiful blue color. The reason it's blue is because the methane in the atmosphere of Neptune absorbs red and infrared light, so that's what gives it its blue color. But other than that, it has some rings, but they're not visible like Saturn's are, so I'm only gonna give it a C tier. Slightly above Uranus because of the brilliant blue color it has. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the dwarf planets. So we're gonna start with everyone's favorite dwarf planet, Pluto. So Pluto was a planet until 2006 when it was declassified as a planet. And this was because they came up with new rules of what qualified as a planet. So they stated it had to be circular and it had to clear its orbit. So like it had to clear its orbit of any major objects that could encounter it. So Pluto did not qualify for that category. So they made it a dwarf planet, and a lot of people hated that they did that. And I love Pluto. I think it should still be planet. I think they should have just made all the new dwarf planets and kept Pluto a planet, just because like they change everything. So Pluto's definitely gonna be A tier. And just look at the surface too. I mean, this is like a little bit edited, but just the way it looks is amazing. And while we're talking about Pluto, let's talk about Charon. Charon is the moon of Pluto, technically. It's about half the size of Pluto, so they're really kind of orbiting each other. It's more like a binary relationship, and they are tidally locked with each other. So they're both like facing each other always. So if you were to like be on Charon or Pluto, they would both be at the same point in the sky at all times. And it does have a pretty cool shape. It's not fully circular, but it's all right. We're gonna give it C tier. All right, now that we're on the topic of moons, let's go ahead and talk about our moon, the moon. I mean, the official name, you could call it Luna. I don't like that they call it moon, and they also called everything else moon. I think we should call it Luna. It is a pretty cool moon. It allows tides on Earth, and it is also the biggest moon compared to its planet. So no other planet has a moon that is that big compared to it, if that makes any sense. So it's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna give it C tier. All right, now we're gonna go on to Phobos. So Phobos and Deimos are the moons of Mars, and they are very small. So Phobos is the bigger moon of Mars. It goes around the planet Mars 3 times per day, so it goes pretty fast. They're not that interesting of moons though. They're really like captured asteroids. So I'm gonna give it D tier. Deimos is the smaller moon of Mars, so pretty much the same. I'm gonna give it F just because it's smaller. So that's our first F. No hate on Deimos, it's not that cool. Okay, let's get into some of Jupiter's moons. We're gonna start with Europa. So Europa is slightly smaller than our moon, but it has water on it, and it could have up to 2 times the amount of water that Earth has under its surface. It's like miles and miles deep of water. So that's pretty cool. So I'm actually gonna give Europa an A tier. I think it's so cool that it has water under it, and it also has like these really cool like scratches on the surface. All right, Ganymede. Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. It is bigger than Mercury. So poor Mercury. If Ganymede wasn't orbiting Jupiter and was just orbiting the sun, it would be its own planet. Ganymede may have water under its surface. It's not confirmed. It has an atmosphere on it, which is actually pretty cool that a moon has an atmosphere on it. And I do like the surface, like the different patterns on it. So we're gonna give it an A tier also. Okay, Callisto. Callisto is the 4th moon of Jupiter, and it has the most craters on it of any object in the solar system that we know of. It looks okay. I don't love it. I'm gonna give it C tier. Okay, Io. I really love Io. Just the yellow color on it. It looks so unique compared to all the other objects, and it has very active volcanoes on it. It shoots out lava going miles high, so that's really cool. A lot of Jupiter's moons are pretty cool, so I'm also giving Io A tier. So we got 3 of the 4 moons of Jupiter that we have on here in A tier, so Jupiter's got some good moons. Saturn, on the other hand, has some less cool moons. Titan, I love Titan too. Titan is Saturn's largest moon, and it could be a candidate for long-term human colonization because it has liquid methane on it. So, and it does have an atmosphere. Because of that, Titan also gets an A tier. Rhea is the 2nd largest moon of Saturn. It is cold, has no atmosphere or anything. It's not that cool. It doesn't even look cool. D tier. Okay, Iapetus is another one of Saturn's moons. It's estimated to be 3/4 ice and only 1/4 rock. So it's very like light, like not dense. It's low density. It is cool that one side is light colored and the other side is dark colored. But other than that, it's okay. I'm gonna give it C tier. Enceladus is another moon of Saturn, and this one's really cool because it has confirmed water on it, and it'll even shoot water into space. But it doesn't look that cool. So we're gonna give it B tier for Enceladus. All right, next we got the rest of the dwarf planets. So we're gonna start with Haumea. Haumea spins super fast, and that's what gives it its non-circular shape. I love the way it looks. I love Haumea. It takes 285 Earth years for Haumea to go around the sun, so it is pretty far out there. We're gonna give it B tier. Okay, now we got Makemake. Makemake is slightly smaller than Pluto, and it's the 2nd brightest object in the Kuiper Belt, Pluto being the 1st. 1 year for Makemake takes 305 Earth years to go around the sun. And it does have a pretty cool color, but we're just gonna put it in C tier. Ceres, not a ton is known about Ceres. It's estimated it could have water underneath the ice, and it may have a thin atmosphere, but it does have some mysterious bright spots on it that have not been explained. So just because of that, we're gonna put it in C. Otherwise, it would be D. All right, so Eris was one of the first dwarf planets discovered in the solar system. It technically was because at the time Pluto was still a planet, and it is actually the planet that dethroned Pluto because they found Eris and realized it was about the same size, and then they're like, oh well, they can't both be planets, so let's make them both dwarf planets. So because of that, we're giving it F, because without Eris, Pluto might still be a planet. Okay, finally we got Halley's Comet, which is not a major object, but it is pretty cool. Halley's Comet only comes by about every 75 years. So the last time it came was in 1986. And it was the first comet to ever be predicted. So they were like, we think it's gonna come on this day, and it did. It looks pretty cool too, like if you see it. And there's actually a comet going by Earth right now. It's greenish. So if you can, go out and see that. We're gonna give his comment B tier. You only see it every once in a while, but when you do, it's pretty cool. Here's our solar system tier list. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments and what you would do. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see more videos like this, instead of like playing a game, we're just like talking about space stuff, then leave a like so I know you want to see more like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.